Okay, I think we can do maybe like research one mala mixema, okay? Just continue, go to the same prayer, then when we go Guru Kalama Tongaba, then that time we can do one mala mixema for everyone to create the merit, okay? Because some special days we do more praise or more merit. In order to we have to learn like this much study, we need to this much create the merit.
Yeah.
This much. Do you see? Mark, do you see me?
Yes, Geshe.
This much study you have to create merit like this much.
Okay.
Therefore, our teacher and Lama Tsongkhapa is a same aspect that we do recite Mixema one mala, okay? Okay, yes, start.
In the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha, until enlightened I seek refuge, through merit from giving and the rest. To aid all may I become Buddha. The Buddha's Dharma and Sangha, until enlightened I seek refuge, through merit from giving and the rest. To aid all may I become Buddha. In the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha, until enlightened I seek refuge, through merit from giving and the rest. To aid all may I become Buddha. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and its causes. May all sentient beings never be parted from sorrowless bliss. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from bias, attachment, and hatred. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings. You, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer of the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings. You, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer of the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings. To you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer of the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When I was supreme among humans who were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who are wise, then I prostrate. With pure bodies, form supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With the supreme signs, face like spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Dust free like you, the 3 worlds are not, incomparably wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you, the one God, to thusness I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, the Dharma that pacifies I prostrate. Those who are liberated and who also show the path to liberation, the holy field qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you, the sublime community intending virtue I prostrate. Homage to the Supreme Buddha, homage to the Dharma refuge, Homage to the great Sangha, to all three ever devout homage, to all worthy of respect, bowing with bodies as many as all realms, atoms, in all aspects, with supreme faith I pay homage. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions. Perform only perfect virtuous actions. Subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a mirage, the flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud. See conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the foe of faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. From Tushita's hundreds of God's protectors' heart, to tip of this fresh, pure, white heap, curd like cloud, O Sangrapa, Dharma's omniscient king, pray come to this place with your disciples, in space ahead, on lion throne, lotus and moon, venerable Guru, smile brightly with delight, pray stay hundreds of eons to spread doctrine, as supreme merit, field for my mind of faith. Your wisdom mind sees full range of knowables. Your eloquent speech adorns fortunate ears. Your beauteous body, fame, glory outstanding. Homage to you, worth what to think of, hear and see. Pleasant offerings of water, various flowers, fragrant incense, light perfume and soul. Oceans of offerings set out and envisioned, offered up to you, supreme field of merit. Non-virtue committed with body, speech, and mind, which I have heaped up since beginningless time, especially what has contradicted three vows. Each I confess from my heart with strong regret. In time of strife you strove to learn and practice, shunned eight mundane concerns, made life essenceful. O protector from depths of our hearts, we rejoice in your powerful great deeds. Venerable Gurus from love and wisdom, clouds densely massed in your Dharma sky, pray loose a rain of vast profound Dharma on fields of disciples just as needed. May whatever virtue that I've here gathered bring benefit to all beings and doctrine, and may it make venerable Sangrapa's essential teaching specially shine forever. Nikmate say wei ter chen chen rezi, remake yen pei wang po jam del yang, du pong ma lu zhong zai sang wei da, gang chen ke pe tsu yen song ka pa, lo sang pra pe java song.
Okay, everyone. We plan to today's last talk day is 10. There will be plan to also create the accumulation merit. Then we recite the maximum one mala. It's good for everyone. According we have to this much pray, we have to do this much merit. That will be going to recite maximum one mala. Okay, everyone. I think I really teach you how to meditation. To that time, you can read meditation. Each maybe like 20 times, like that, whatever you like. You can meditation, okay? We recite one mala, okay? It's maybe I'm too fast to mala. Maybe when Bob or Jennifer who can finish, then just rest, okay?
Do you need to see the
No, I don't think so. Everyone knows it.
mantra? Or most people know. Yeah.
I
Okay.
don't know, yeah. We may say that the Shen say to mention Beon, Bojambaya, to Bombalin, Jesus, Savetama, Kanchin, Kibet to Jetsonga, lose a topic, a lot of what we may say about it. Also, you can meditation, when you recite, you can also listen your own voice, or you can recite, when you hear your voice, like that, okay? Or you can listen to my voice. We may say that the other to make him much about the woman, the conscious. We may say that the other to make him much about the woman, the conscious. 미매체베데 이제 오마자마야 또 오마리가 간식베데 마드라바잘라서 와네 미매 로장 잡베잘라서 와네 미매체베데 주메지마 오마자 로장 잡베잘라서 와네 you can to continue
Finish the mala.
Oh, glorious.
maybe people need the prayer.
Yeah.
Good job. Okay.
Oh, glorious and precious root, Lord, pray take seat of lotus on my crown, caring for me with your great kindness. Bestow attainments of body, speech, and mind. Oh, glorious and precious root, Lord, pray take seat of lotus at my heart, caring for me with your great kindness. Bestow attainments common and supreme. O glorious and precious root, Lord, pray take seat of lotus at my heart, caring for me with your great kindness, until supreme awakening remain steadfast. Homage to the exalted three jewels. Thus have I heard at one time, the Blessed One was dwelling in Rajagriha on Vulture Mountain, together with a great assembly of monks and a great assembly of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Blessed One was absorbed in the concentration of the countless aspects of phenomena called profound illumination. At that very time, the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, was looking perfectly at the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom, perfectly looking at the emptiness of inherent existence of the five aggregates also. Then, through the power of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said to the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, how should a child of the lineage train who wishes to engage in the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom? Thus he spoke, and the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, replied to the Venerable Shariputra as follows. Shariputra, whichever son or daughter of the lineage wishes to engage in the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom should look perfectly like this. Subsequently, looking perfectly and correctly at the emptiness of inherent existence of the five aggregates also. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form, form is not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors in consciousness are empty. Shariputra, like this, all phenomena are empty without characteristics. That is, they are not produced and do not cease. They have no defilement and no separation from defilement. They have no decrease and no increase. Therefore, Shariputra, in emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no compositional factors, no consciousness. There is no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind. No visible form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no object of touch, no mental phenomenon. There is no I element and so forth up to no mind element, up to no element of mental consciousness. There is no ignorance and no cessation of ignorance and so forth up to no aging and death and no cessation of aging and death. Likewise, there is no suffering, no origin, no cessation, and no path. no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Therefore, Shariputra, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and abide in the perfection of wisdom. And because their minds have no obstructions, they have no fear. Passing utterly beyond error, they attain the final state beyond sorrow. All the Buddhas who reside in the three times by relying upon the perfection of wisdom become manifest and complete Buddhas in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the equal to the unequaled mantra, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering since it is not false, should be known as a truth. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is proclaimed. Tayata, gate, gate, paragate, parasamgate, bodhisoha. Shariputra, this is how a bodhisattva, a great being, should train in the profound perfection of wisdom. Then the Blessed One arose from that concentration and said to the superior Avalokiteshvara, the bodhisattva, the great being, well said, O child of the lineage, so it is. The profound perfection of wisdom should be practiced exactly as you have taught, and the Tathagatas will rejoice. When the Blessed One had said this, the Venerable Shariputra, the superior Avalokiteshvara, bodhisattva, the great being, and the entire assembly, as well as worldly beings, gods, humans, demigods, Gandharvas, and others, were filled with admiration and highly praised what had been spoken by the Blessed One. In the holy supreme abode of the Dakinis, possessed of clairvoyance and miraculous power, unwaveringly caring for practitioners as your children, homage to the hosts of the three places Dakinis.
Aga samaranda shandara samaraya pe.
Hayata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisoha. Through the power of truth of the exalted three-jewel speech, may all on the side of negativity, such as the four maras, be stopped. May they become non-existent. May they be pacified. All enemies, obstructors, and hindrances, Shanti Kuriye Soha. The 80,000 types of obstructors pacified, freed from adverse harmful conditions, may all be conducive and perfect auspiciousness, bring happiness and well-being here right now. Saji perki chukshin mito pramri prablingi Yidegen Adi Sangye Jindu Mite Or Yidro Konanda Jima Parshu Jetsun Lamada Vakina Ichi Koi Kala Yen Sage Rindrane Jetsun Do Jizima Azap Yecheki Charpawatusu Idam Guru Rakamandalakam Niryatayam
Sanje chedan doje janang la janje bade dan jatsun che take chishe jebe tanam lola benje sanje dreba jo sanje chedan doje janang la janje bade dan jatsun take chishe jebe tanam je lola benje sanje dreba jo sanje chedan doje janang Shanje Bada Dana Japsam Je, Daka Chuche Jepe Sonam Je, Rola Penjara Sanje and Shu. Okay, good evening, everyone. Hi, Murian. How are you? Muria, you? How are you? Muria, Murian. What's that?
Me?
Yeah, hi, Carl.
Oh, I'm good. Thank you, Geshe.
How's your new place?
It's okay. I'm starting to get things up. It's very hot.
How's you got the COVID-19?
What? Oh, yeah, it's kind of like how it was in Massachusetts during the Massachusetts surge, you know. It's just a surge. So, yeah.
Okay, good. How you like that, or which one better, Massachusetts or Medford or there?
Or Phoenix, Arizona. It's still too new for me in Arizona, so I don't know yet, but I like it here a lot. It's very big and expansive, you know, like in Massachusetts, you're kind of like, you know, compressed. And here it's just big skies, big desert, big everything.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Where are you, Tamchu? Where are you? Where are you?
I'm in Airbnb.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, look like you have different place. Yeah.
I'm on
Ah,
vacation,
oh, you still vacation. Wow.
still vacationing.
Good. That's good. Okay, it's wonderful. Yes. Hello, you guys. Looks good, you guys. Yeah. 다 드린 간도 제출에 뒤치는 간도 안에 믹스해봐도 싸이 봤어. 아니 다 소소 따위 라마다 아니 정글 라마 통과가 뭐 예매됐다 아니 믹스해마 싸야 돼다 간도 쏘는 거 촉사야 랍치 못 차대요로.
So as you know, today is the 10th, the Guru Puja day usually. So therefore we did the recitation of Miktema a little more than usual. And usually to recite the Miktema and by seeing one's Guru inseparable from Lama Tsongkhapa is one of the supreme way of accumulating great amount of merit in a very short time.
됐지. 제자 된적이 전에 안에 되는 간도 믹스해마 되어서 그래. 아니 다 가와서 뭐야 보충으로.
And so anyway, because of that reason, we did a little bit of recitation of Miktema, and so I was very fortunate, for all of us to be able to do that.
아니 다단다 간소만도 또입 내도 되건 잠을리 미간가라 강에 퇴샤로 왔을 때.
So because of this pandemic, all the people in the world are experiencing difficulties.
제자 안에 다양 알아서 딱 알아서다 안 알아서 남이 침세 안에 비빈자 안에 되는 나와다 안에 소쇼가 되는 마찬가지 간소 다 가와곰 쪽으로 와.
Yet, many of us we are very fortunate, to be safe, and not only us but our families and close friends are not being sick and and being healthy. Is very fortunate. So we can rejoice over that.
제자가 식당가도 다 고외 남들 제도도 간도 그때나 참만도 강에 잔자도 이해버렸다. 강에 잔자도 이해버렸어.
So no matter what, because we're in samsara, therefore we always have some kind of difficulties, always in some kind of dilemmas, right? All the time.
제자 간도 미사드 파티 지 말아봐이나 주로는 받는 강가 단도도 가오르다. 파로가네 소소도 가디나 체줄을 맞도 강에 이해버렸어.
So if we look from outside, then we don't see much problems, and seems like everything is good. But when we search inside, then we all have some problem. Regardless of small or big, we all have some kind of problems.
제가 아니 딘데기다 강에다 돈에 제단데다 돈에 제단 망보여. 디나니 가서다 가래나 소소 간제 강에데 액셉트 해야 돼. 간저 원래 해야 돼 빼는 것이 뭐래도.
And so there are many ways we can accept those problems, by doing which we will have less problems. And so facing it and accepting is very important.
그러나 아니 강에들 파 돈에 제트면도 고 아주 원래 제마저 채워지려도 이제.
So whether we can face it or not, depends on how well we can accept it, right?
빼차잖아. 이게 빼주주네. 저도 다 되네. 다 재미 다 가지 보제유들 망보여 봤어.
So I'll give you a small example. Like so many women, right? Many women who have given birth to a child.
제가 보제들 내려와 말아왔어. 빼면서 강에 열어왔어.
So giving child is not easy, right? It's so much difficult, so much pain, and so much difficulties that one has to go through.
제가 아니 간제 좋은라 보고 차와니 마 맞게 발라다 간제 아마데가 로탄 독탄 사탄라도 차탄 지오지네 강에 몸부지 돈을 치고도 와.
So from the time the baby is conceived into a womb, mother has to control over so many things, right? From the way she live, where she walk, where she eat the food, everything has to be change and have to handle with all those difficult situations.
제가 인바이나 아메리카나 대소수가 간제 당연 제반이자 그 다지 고강기 찍어 말어. 강이 다 건다니 오야부 그거마다 강에 간제 다 강이 찍어 말어 봤어.
But the mother is so happy that she is pregnant or she has the baby growing in her that she becomes she accepts it. She accepts the difficulty, and because of that, and even though she doesn't even get a proper sleep in the night, she is not unhappy. Because she's accepting it, so therefore it's not that difficult for her.
제가 데려도.
Isn't it like that?
제가 강에 마보지 가서 가르나 강에 대 원래 제마지 두고도 와.
So many of the difficulties we go through, becomes more difficult, if we don't accept it. But if we accept it, then it doesn't become that much of difficult, right?
제가 강에 대 원래 체제 안에 대거 소소 선바투 마셔왔지. 안에 대강에 대 봐서야게 답시 다 가려야지나 아니 강에 임바에 나 간지 때 돈에 지기 간지 소수고 안에 리다 샘기 간지 딱하고 마시라 냠고 말아왔어.
And so if we take the sufferings, accept them, and then handle them in a light way, so that it doesn't disturb or bother us, and that way then our mind and both body and mind will be more relaxed and will have less difficulties or suffering.
내가 지차를 내가 니바테 미세가 단다 시제가 가고 루솔라다 나테 미생한테 더 나죠. 주주지 전부 써야 돼 시제에 가고 싶어도.
So that is one important point to be able to accept and be not be bothered by that or disturbed by that. And the other thing I see especially in Westerners is that they make even small things very big, like exaggerate, so big.
생활 미생원에 더 나셔도 나도 배워다 배나 이시아가 루솔라 드니시라이 말 내가 주주지는 배 전부 그네 몇 발샤가 왔다 대배 농조래셔.
So I don't see that much, in Asians, or in Tibetans, in Asians, Chinese, like that. But a lot, in the Westerners. So like even small things, they make it very big and like make it a big flame.
와. 제가 대 농조래셔. 제가 나도 주주의 전부치는 소야면도 돼. 소소소 전부 소야면도.
So that is a big mistake, I think. It should not make small things into a big thing, big matter.
내가 니 받쳐왔다. 나 내가 선바데 다가다가 어디 가다 럽데 제가 가시고 말아. 선바데 나도 자샤 주주도 한번 내서데 나도 전에 종어요 말아 먹어 봐지 종거 말했어. 단다 좋은 선바 말에 단다치 텔레카로 논해요 말에 마오 파지테 속 말다 먼저 대 용거래 삼네 즉 소주 샘나 감라치 되게 그러스.
So that's the second point, to not make small things into a big. And the third point is that I've already explained this, on the Facebook, but I don't know if people understood it or not. It's like worrying too much, about the things that has not happened, thinking that it will happen. It hasn't happened in the past. It is not happening at the present, and it might not happen in the future. But in our mind, we keep thinking, oh, it might happen, and worrying, and thinking that it might happen to us. So that's the third point. So out of like 100%, 60% is not going to happen. Right? So it's sure that 60% is not going to, but one is worrying too much over that.
다 되는 자샤양 자샤 숨주세지 땅아도 근데 되는 근데 자샤 뉴슈데 땅아도 소셜이야 소소 샘게야 소셜 그랬어
그래서 자샤 tukchudi
자샤 tukchudi 영어에 말다 영어 용거 말 영어에 말다 먹어 봐면 나도 때 영거래 삼네 가지 소소 샘들한테 그러와
so 60% is not going to happen. It's not going to happen. 60% is not going to happen. But like out of the 40% remaining, 30% we make it up. We make it up, thinking that it's going to happen to us.
대다직 직전에 대 좋은 선발했어. 나도 대 냠노 재수 좋은 선발했어.
Somebody.
근데 자자 숨제 야마나 소소야 소샤 그래 야마나 되게 변화 가로 강에도 소소고 돈에 전에 강에도 파스 세 선발들을 했어. 변화 매게 변화 간지 철사조들이로.
So the 30%, either one is thinking that it's going to happen, or something that has already happened and have experienced and is already gone.
변화 되게 전화도 좀 나도 변화 물로 변화 딱 나도 사마 파체 다 로십제 이제 전화도 니 마체. 제상을 로니슈 좀 냥기 내 마치 정말 치죠 대소수고 레바가 니 저로도 냐 되는 거 왔을 때 농수로에서.
And things that happened in the past, we hold on to that, right? So like most of us here are over 40 already, right? And so the things that happened 20 years ago, 30 years ago, so you still keep it, in the back of your head.
다 자자전에 다 자자 두시갈로 숨지는 급자라 다 자자 쩔하송아.
So that's 30%, is that.
다 자자 좀 하면서 자자 쩌는데 자샤가 직전에 가서 대강에 대 돈이 제거 투그래서 자샤가한테 나도라 왕샤 나도라 펜테라 용도만 나도 대가야게 니바요 말했어.
And so then out of that, now that remains 10%, right? So out of 10, the 5% who have already experienced it, experienced it, and the 5% who have no control, to stop it or not.
제자 나도 두소도 다 되는 앞에나 다 자샤가 나도 탑시 매와였나? 빼나 나도 남주지 푸는 쪽이 왔나? 남들도 삼마고 벌와는 미게 독쇼용이나? 남도 그 뭐게 독 마시와도 코 까요 말. 소소 남이야. 숙제도 남 짜야로스. 대다.
So the 5%, is like if you're flying airplane, and then you're flying very low, and if people are trying to, if people are throwing stone at you, then there's no way you can stop people from throwing stone at you. So only way you can stop it, or avoid it, is by flying higher.
제자다 소소 telaya 강이 대가는 먼저 왔다 빼나가 잡고 작노.
So oneself not getting into that trouble or that problem is very important.
되는 같이 다 내가 니빠데 가르쳐가도 사나. 빼나 내가 가르쳐봐야 빼나 소소를 되게 소소 샘 죽으로나 되게 내수 때 락빠진 차야 말이야. 가진 창구 마토가 있는 차야요 말이야.
And so that's one thing, and then the next thing is that, if anything that that's happening, if that is causing problem to us, then we should not stick our nose into it. Try not to get involved in it at all.
배차샤바나 변나 선주 따와이나 단다 무색이 단대기 변나 다 가고 이제 찹색이 선지 따는 수수 샘 죽는 진짜 따요 말 마타나 야쇼레스.
So what I mean by that is, like, for example, if watching news bothers you, then don't watch it at all.
그래서 대가 샘 만추가 제가 여기까지 가디는 됐다는 수수비 알아도나 라스 여기가 도와지 봐라.
So while you are getting bothered by the news, if you keep on watching, then you're getting more and more bothered, more stress. It's like drinking alcohol will get you drunk, and you keep drinking alcohol, then of course every time you drink you get drunk.
제가 내가 답변은 소속 변화 조모 뭐저 받나 변화 계좌 되게 내달라는도 코드 가디나 코 따와 맡아보고는 계좌 대체는 리가 요 말 코샤잖아 야소래.
And then when you talk about these news or the things happening with your friends, and if you don't get along with that, then better not talk about it at all. Just leave it alone. Whatever they think, let them think, and whatever it is, just let it be. Don't argue over that, and don't get stressed over that.
또 빼낸 거다. 또 그냥 가도 춘주에 갈래지는 것도 훅치고 온다. 가도 최보통 훅치도 오면 또 또 빼낸 거 그거.
So those are very important, the small things like that. If we can fix it, then it can be stopped. The big things, it's difficult to stop, right? But the small things like that, we can stop from happening from the beginning.
배체는 나라수 수수 지오잡 도면도 수수 삼수 지오잡 도면도.
So like ourselves, can we change our opinion, our way of thinking? It's very difficult, right? We cannot change.
제가 소소도 따와 문테 사가 미팅 삼성 아주 대남에 제토고 말해. 지오잡 말해.
So in the same way, it is difficult for the other person to change their opinion and their thought, right? And so if we don't get along with their opinion or thoughts, then we cannot force them to change it. There's no way we can change their opinion, right?
그거 배나 전화도 삼부 재산도 가야 배나 전화 배나 가도 수수가 배나 기적이 요사 수수가 이체 요사 미지가 남는 가도 삼수다 따와다 그 지오잡 도건도 셰 소소 미파초도 이체면나 그 자동 가사는 가도 암비 로그면도.
So it depends who that person is, right? So if it's somebody that you believe in, right? So somebody you respect, somebody you trust and believe in, and if that person tells you that and tells you to do this or don't do that, then you listen to that person, right? Otherwise, if it's just a regular person, same level as you, and considers to that person as like yourself, then you will never listen to that person. So even if he tells you hundreds or 1,000 times, you will not change.
배차잖아. 당 간소 배나 간소 빠진 저와나. 배나 이 주주는 지시나 전화도 받지 마체 nye 그래서. 안에 라레다 답이 제그래서. 당에 대만 받지 배나. 매가 거네 지금. 매가 지. 최대 거는 지시나 천서 계실라고 다들 멤버는 말 대다 하고 말해서 저 녀가 저 다다 라레 딱 말했어. 대래 전화도 소속은 멤버한테 전화한다. 자샤 자는 아니 배나. 내려봐도 그 자샤 자는 자 군냐 체그래서.
So like you will listen to me if I tell you something related with the Dharma, right? Yeah. So you might listen to me, but if I tell you something about medicine, and you say, oh yeah, he's saying that, but he doesn't know anything about medicine, and so then you will not listen to me about medicine. But you listen to if it's a doctor, if it's your doctor who tells you, then you listen to that person. So how much you listen to your doctor and to me. In regards to health, and in regards to your health, it's like big difference, like the space and the earth, the difference like that. So it depends, who you listening to, what that person is to you. Is it like that?
제때 가도 로더로 네 저들은 계절라 멤버도 말다 맨 골도 계절 하고 오면 저도 쟁거리죠. 내 지금 랍대와 지난다. 계절라 맨 골도 다 하고 오면 저도 쟁거리스.
So even if I tell you something about medicine, you might think, oh, Geshe is not not a doctor, so I don't think what he's telling is right, or I don't think he knows what he's talking about.
다 텔레처럼 멤버처럼 소속 넘지 멤버여로 되게 질람나 저 다시 잔이 자꾸인 라이트 그냥게.
But if it is your doctor, your personal doctor, especially who tells you to do this and that and tells you about the health, then you will like out of 100%, you will listen. Out of 100%, you will listen to that person. Isn't like that?
So
So it's the same with all of us.
제가 가는 민바죠. 가서 파죠 이치어 봤어. 디게 변나 내서 디고라 콜 이치어도 그 얘기를 봤어.
So that's because we trust in that person. That's why we listen to the person, right?
제가 미션바지 소소도 따와 만든 그 소소고 변나 저런 걸 나야다 이치 명에다 가지 따와 만든 거라 먼저 디 남에 파죠 따와도 저 잡통 말. 대래 디콜라 소소고 전에 계셔 마시나 아니 내서 딱 가로 야요 봐.
And so same way, if he's somebody that doesn't have a same view as you, doesn't get along in terms of the view, then better not talk to that person about different opinion at all.
그리고 변나 미카시 변나 저는 변나 저나서 변나 남이 제 변이 빼자 돼. 저나도 빼대 파 개월다. 근데 너도 변나 주주도 저나도 변는 거네 샘나 선바이나 나로서 파시 다는 냠래 제알에 다는 너도 니말 니레니레 지와 팽도 와서 나도 니레니 라레 따토도 와. 생각도 샤지고서 돈이도 지지 마고 겁나가도 샘나 샤라 팽고면도 와.
So these are the things that we have to keep in our mind, right? Because this is the things that's happening in our life, in our day-to-day life. So that's how we have to handle. In this case, this is how you have to think. Like you have to think in that way. Instead of thinking in that way, if you think about bodhicitta or emptiness, it will not help.
예전에 대가는 나도 치는데 레바야 줄 레통문도 왔는데 나도 대 얘기 하면서 오라고지. 소소파 때 못하게 손라고지. 두 피게 예면은 통도 왔어.
And especially like when we see as something far away from ourselves, it's not within ourselves. It's not like part of our life. If we don't think that this is happening with me too. It's my life. It's like instead of thinking like that, if you see keep very far away and then see like it's something that you like a spectacle that you watch on it or watching a show like that.
배차잖아. 나도 밑다스 니어서 메카시게 나도 홀풀 칼라뇨나 자서 오가네 레스 켈랭레스. 가시게 때 켈랭 말 다스 니어도 요 말이 여러 봤어.
So like for example, there is even like the whole food. Like people the two people have a different opinion about the food sold in whole food. Some people think that all the food in the whole food store is organic, and then but other people say no, I don't think there's an organic. This is just maybe written or just labeled as organic, but not really organic like that, right? People have a different opinion.
제가 다 티브라도 쬐지 맞잖아. 야쇼 대 남주 대리게 쬐잖아. 소소 샘투게나 챘는데 쏘치는 맞잖아. 그런 거 오가는 말서 오다 많이 봐 샤샤. 소소 인사 소소 인바 샤샤나 야쇼레스. 대 쬐잖아. 제고 잡고 말해.
So if that person thinks that way, then there's no way you can change, and there's no point for you to debate about it, right? No point for you to argue or debate about it. If he thinks it's not organic, let it be not organic. And if you think this is organic, let it leave it as organic. Just live like that.
주저다. 제대로도 돼. 가는나 소소 간제 소소 랍조도 이 파조도 있고 이 책면에 그 가는 그 얘가 말이 되는데 그 팬도문도 와.
And so this is small thing, but it can save you from being disturbed, right? So if that person doesn't listen to you, doesn't accept, then better not tell him this or that.
오케이. 오다 던도 춘준해지. 남진 가라서 삶을 삶았다. 가르체 촉, 가르체는 야, 가르체는 마체, 가르체는 저거, 가르체는 만지고 삶다 다르다.
So these are small things. So what should we do? What we should not do? What we should do? What we should not do? What way we should think and what way we should not think like that. This kind of things.
오케이. 다 되네라고 치. 되네 다 가서 가상 다들 막 특하게 쉬고다. 다들 좀 가서 오늘 됐지. 다들 로존 랑레 이제 그래서 방에도 다 대체적인 통람도 안에 고랑 방야를 생각도 치는 내가 매우 손으로 누구도 왔어.
And so now we're going to go back to our text, from where we stopped last time. So again, like I mentioned last time, this is like almost telling us is it almost seems like it has nothing to do with us. It is something done by somebody on that path, on the path of seeing or path of meditation.
세상 가도 파딩 센터 파드 메디테이션 매와이다 다 무비 따야도 주바로 용어도 와대.
So because we are not on that path, path of seeing and path of meditation, then it becomes like similar, to watching movie.
이난다 너도 내가 잘 가는데 참아 시바였나 아니 소소 대가로 샘라 곰로로 봤어. 곰로고 람가들 레바다 코 따라다 코라코 샤도 그러지.
So, but if we know, if we understand that, then we become familiar with it. So when we become familiar, and then if we are familiar with it, and when we reach the path, then we know exactly where to apply to it. So this the 10 delusions that is to be abandoned, right? And 10 delusions of the desire realm, and then the 9 of the form and formless realm, right? So so those are like actually talking in short, it is the 10, the 6 root delusions, right, that we normally talk about. So this is also the same thing as like what we normally have, like like delusions like attachment, anger, ignorance, pride, and so forth, right?
Okay. 어디지 다들 다 응도 가사변나 안에 대신인 통방의 제외 요모 자단 가로 다들 로서 기사이 바스 얘도 자단 젠로사이 바스
So we talked about the 108
자도 중이로 살도
so 112 afflictive obscurations, right?
다 바지
Afflictive obscurations to be abandoned on the path of seeing.
젠로사래 다지 다 너도 당가도 봐 레레로나데 공고 비센도 가지 고 가로 고뇨 살살로 당가도 장가서 마티로 나니 되게다로
So we're not going to go into a very detail. It's just confusing here at this point. So we're just going to count the numbers. So but at least we know how to count, right? So what are the 112 afflictive obscurations that is to be abandoned on the path of seeing. So now next is the obscuration to knowledge that is to be abandoned and that's 108 obscuration to knowledge that's to be abandoned on the path of seeing. So there are 108 of them, right? 108 obscuration to knowledge, obscuration to omniscience, to be abandoned by the path of seeing. So like it says here, the second root, the reason that there are 108 obstruction to omniscience, to be abandoned by the path of seeing is established.
자또 니바테데 대지진 통보의 집에 시럽자다 예요데 대제빈 네베스티지 통방 시럽 섬짓자둑 루다 zu미치 섬짓자둑 남서 예비셔스
Because there are 108 obstructions to omniscience that are to be abandoned by the path of seeing of the Mahayana. This is because there are 36 obstructions to omniscience to be abandoned on the path of seeing, which are included in the grounds of the desire realm, which is that, and there are 36 obscurations to omniscience to be abandoned on the path of seeing, which are included in the grounds of the form and formless realms.
다 돼서 다 내외 통보체된 내외 시대지 통포 시럽 주바주토 거 말해 도바주토 거 주바주토 거 제도토바 거 And
then it says the first there are 36 obstructions to omniscience to be abandoned on the path of seeing, which are included in the grounds of the desire realm is established because there are 9 conceptions about and apprehended to be turned away from that are obstruction to omniscience that are abandoned on the path of meditation.
Typo.
I
think.
Isn't
that supposed to be path of seeing?
Yeah, it's a typo, right?
Typo, yeah.
Yeah, path of seeing, included in the grounds of the desire realm, and 9 conception that are the conception about and apprehended to be engaged, and 9 conception about apprehenders of substantial existence. And 9 conception about apprehenders of imputed existence. The latter, this is example form and formless realms, and have similar reasonings. So 36 times 3 is
108.
108. Okay. Gyaltsen.
대단 통방 시럽 자다 제사 들단 통방 시럽 자다 제사
So those are the 108 obstruction to omniscience to be abandoned on the path of seeing.
다 동보 트브데스 와. 다 누샤오다. 담보 시드 도바즈도 거사진도와. 도바즈도 거사야데. 아니 니랑가 람델라 미네 테치지 람라티데 아니 도자 데마치베 시리사드레.
So it's, it's just like the grounds of the desire realm is established because there are 9 conceptions about an apprehended to be turned away, apprehended to be turned away from that, turn away from that. So that here is referring to the Hinayana path, like hearers and solid as path, right? So compared to the Mahayana and Hinayana path, so to be turned away, from the Hinayana path.
거기에 년투글 람다 년투가 람델라 미그네스 대체에 랍라 두나 도자다 대체 말라다 단 대게 냠슬라자 렘도 사람들 간지 고 샤네 대체 람 냠슬래 시다 대체 람라 때네 냠슬래 다까지 칼라도나 데 칼라데 온다 대게 사게메 삼스 드는 거 있다.
So it is not to be turned away in general, but it to be turned away, when you compare with the Mahayana path. So for the Mahayana path, it has to be turned away. But, in general, you don't have to turn away. You don't. So if you are engaging in the hero's path, you don't turn it away. You turn it away only when you are in Mahayana path. Okay, you understand that?
라마선은 안 묻혀서야. 거기도 대체도 델레라오도 와.
So that's easy.
냐랑가 람델라 미네 도자 데마시미 시링사들이.
So by looking at the heroes and soldiers path, it has to be turned away.
So Geshe, are you saying that is turning away the same as abandoning? It's the same?
그래, the dogs doing the punks go to bed.
나 빵에서 배냐 간지 당 녜냠살이야 chen 녜냠네 체 대칭이 람라 아
냠냠 맞아서 봐라.
다 냠냠 맞아 대칭이 람라 때는 녜냠네 맞아 돼 이상은.
Yeah, so not involving in it. It means like not involving in it. Not engaging in those practices.
I see.
Doesn't mean you have to abandon it, but it just means like you are not engaging in that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
다 된 주바도 도셔야 된다. 도바도지. 도바도 도지. 단 주바도 도셔야 돼. 안에 대신제 람라 안에 맥지 녀라가 람라 띠디 단 댕이 냠살래자 레사 마도시. 주바도 도셔야 돼.
This?
람사데 대신제 람라 맥지. 안에 다 닌투 람라 띠디 니티 람라 때네 댕아 주고사데 레사 마도시.
And then non-constrained apprehended to be turned away from that obscursion and omission that are abandoned the public desire. And then there's a non-conception about and apprehended to be engaged in. So to be engaged. So now again, it's talking about the Mahayana path, right? So compared to the Hinayana path, this is the Mahayana path. So I have to engage in it. So this is the Mahayana path that has to be engaged in. So the Hinayana path that has to be turned away from, and the Mahayana path that has to be engaged in.
오지 다 대는 주바도 도치 다 주고 그래 해서도 와. 다 젠도 도바 그선데 젠도 도바 사인도 와.
And then there is the apprehenders of substantial existence, right?
다 젠도 도바 세야 돼. 아니 가다 라자 때문에 가로 다 가다 라자 때문에 제지 로라 미네스 아니 롱쇼자 담바시면 시릭
아사 라자도 베젤 미네.
가다 라자 때문에 제테 아니 제테 바레스 텐지브 로텔라 미네 롱쇼자 담바시면 시릭 사이요다. 롱쇼자
롱저자.
롱쇼자.
벌써 롱저자.
다 가로 다 롱쇼자는 다 소주 배제 따야.
롱저다.
Ah.
And then there's the nine conception about an apprehended, nine conception. So nine conception about apprehenders of substantial existence. And so, like looking at or observing, at the substantially and so also
롱쇼자.
also
빠지 다음 누스는 가지고 제 다타에서 제요세에 가다 라제데 제도 라자데 제데 잡아는 제라 그래. 제.
so
Yaman- yeah.
so something existing substantially and what's it?
야만나 가다 대신해 봐. 간제 가사 대신해 봐. 야만나 가다 라제데 제도 잡아라 아니 제요세. 대 롱쇼자 덴바치메 셰리탈라 덴바도 덴달라 아니 제도 또 봐서 그래.
So aiming at the at the object that is seen as existing substantially, existing substantially, self-sufficiently and substantially existing, and then and seeing that, looking at the object as that, and then consuming it or using it or enjoying it. Like that.
하고도
So do you understand that?
아니 다 가지 다데 타니데 버탄데 그때는 고뉴 고비 워 가지 덴즈
whatever things that you're using, right? You're using, consuming, or enjoying, the thing that you are utilizing every day, right? So that thing, you look at that thing and think of that as existing self-sufficiently and substantially.
안 다나지가 아니 폼보다 아니 감세된 것도 따요라 그래. 따요라 랍라 그래서.
So existing substantially and existing imputedly, and so like usually when we talk about phenomena and aggregate, that's existing imputedly.
아니 다대 아니 텐데 야만나 폼보 야만나 아니 감라면에 대 롱쇼자 담바지면 담바달라 따요라 그래. 따도 또 봐.
공부하다.
야만나 폼보 야만나 아니 감 아니 대니 강을라면에 롱쇼자 담바지면 된달라 따요라 그래. 따요 따도 또 봐.
농조조 넘버지 마.
롱쇼자 담바지 봐. 강가 된다 강가 된다.
하나다야 빼지샤다.
pena ta kaje pena phombo la mine phombo de long sheja dama de denzo an tela tawi la arna
뭐
koran
된다다.
phombo koran la tawi la de tayo ini phombo koran re ina ngadu tela mege tanyira tata chila kola tayo la gres eda ko tayo eda kola mine deba de long sheja dama de kon de nge long sheja yensa me dama de dendla ani tayo la gres tanto to ba
코란 덴버 코란다 풍보 코란다.
봄보 코란 인지 봄보 코란지 코란 덴바 롱쇼자 덴바 댕이 롱쇼자 인사메 덴바 덴달라 빠요라 그래 다운도 또 발라 그래
말은 게 롱저스 생각서.
다 롱쇼자 되죠 간지 롱쇼자 덴바
풍보게 롱저스 인스.
봄보 댕이 롱쇼자 됐어
롱저스는 풍보게 배제당 거였어.
배제당 삼게
아니
덴리게 덴바 덴달라 아니 다운도 또 봐. 가래서나 폼보를 따요라 그래.
따요디 디제 제디.
제데 아니 가자 대전나 봐. 야마나 라차데베 제이드 쳐 봐. 가자 대전나 봐 되는 거. 가자 이제 가자다. 가자 대전나 봐세 나도 제래라 그래. 제. 가자 대전나 봐 제이자 코 데마드바 된달라 젠도 또 봐. 아니 가자가 폼보데 따요 예자 대 데마드바 된달라 아니 따도 또 봐.
알아 가서 코란 제진 또 봤어.
가자 코라 가자 대전나 봐. 가자 코라 말다야. 가자 대전나 봐. 근데 이 가자 코라다 가자 라차데베 제이드 쳐봐더라 제라근도 와. 제자 대 데마드바 된달라 젠주스. 가자고 폼보 데마드바 된달라 따운스.
알아 다 간제다 가서기 코라 친이도 제가 더라 두지를 봤어요.
그래 그때 이제 때래 나도 이게 생이도 세자도 와.
So the difference between like substantially existing and imputedly existing. So that's what we were discussing about. So the substantially existing, is like when you talk about a person, right? the person being being able to perform a function. Like the person being able to perform a function is the, so what do you call that? It's like the character, of the person. The person being able to perform a function is the character of the person, or the definition of the person, right? And so looking at the person being able to perform a function and seeing that as existing from its own side, seeing that as existing truly, is substantially is looking at a person as existing self-sufficiently and substantially, and then looking at the aggregate of the person, not the person being able to perform function, but looking at the aggregate of the person, and then seeing that as existing truly, is grasping at the existing imputedly.
Well, that and Juba to go, then the Toba go, Doba to go, Juba to go, then the Toba go, Tan Tobacco, go Chawajiga, Kaji Shichena, and Jada Chun Charo, Yat
Some sort of So like that, so that's, you see here, it says, right, so the 9 conception about apprehenders of imputed existence. Apprehenders, of substantial existence, and apprehenders, of the imputed existence. So that's the difference that I explained. I don't know if you understood or not. But anyway, so there was a 9 of that, right? So 9, of the apprehended, to be turned away, and then 9, conception, and about apprehended to be engaged, and then there's 9, conception about apprehenders of substantial existence, and 9 conception about apprehenders of imputed existence. So the 9 times 4 makes 36, right? And 36 in each round, and in the 3 round makes it 108 obstruction, to omniscience, to be abandoned on the path of sin.
When Gregory Macarisha, Greg Ma Kajin Masha, Gremich Yomartan, Deco Nezuke Yomares. Yeah, Google Majamado, Kajin Google showers, Kajin Google shower, Kajika Gumas Mayorna Teco, Nezuke Yomar, Code Leta, Deja Neve Sambalatines, and the Shaba inspection to the Ores. Nezuke Yomares.
And so then if you ask a question, why there is 9, why can't there be only 8, or why can't there be 10 like that? There's no reason, it's posited as 9 because of the disciples, who are listening to it. So this is explained in the 5th chapter of the Ornament of Clear Realization.
So this
is explained with the explanation of the hero's path and the results of the hero's path and so forth. And so anyway, this is all talking about grasping a true existence.
Okay,
and this is a accord in grasping a true existence.
Okay. 간지단 세진도 오면 내고 가로 파지 제오지 시간은 빼샤 몸보지 양 따딩 나도 강가 빼샤 가로 빼샤도 매와야 하는 고비들 그래도.
So anyway, so just like in the text here, these are the numbers that we just go through now. It will be too much to go through all the extensive explanation on that, we'll have to refer to many other texts, and it's very confusing.
So the
detailed explanation is in the Ornament of Clear Realization text. So if I have to explain this, then it will be too much to go through.
The shorter to
it has like 660 pages.
that demo was that kind of Hakoso, that Gugga Jatanate, Jubazu Tokar, Kare Dobalanakari, Jubalanakari, 젠들나 가래 땅들나 가니가 용어도 좋아.
So anyway, you got the rough idea now, right? So what are the apprehended to be turned away, apprehended to be engaged, and apprehended of substantial existence, apprehended of imputed existence, right?
Okay, that's yes, Jennifer.
Are these all objects or objects and subjects for the nine conceptions of true existence?
그래서 뭐 가래 윤력이 요전에서 윤력이 가지 요전에서
가래 열라면 이제
유전라
같이 예체라면 이제 잘 올거나.
똑바서는 요전 차려라.
그리고 또봐 이제로 와 같이 같이 열체래 같이 열래.
말다 제좀 똑바고서 똑바고서는데
저도 어떻게 시바도 강가 또봐지자다 로장자다.
Yeah, these are all object possessors, all subjects, object possessors. So it's talking about the conception, right? There are the 9 conceptions. So it's talking about conceptions all. So it's all object possessors.
제가 답이 미사가 열라야 안에 또봐만 니가 용 거래서 같이.
But but where it is observing, that of conception is observing, like it can be what is observing can be object or can be subject also.
pena nyentu ko lamla mine doja dama nyentu lamdo ko toba ka shibar was tela mine ondande nge nyamle chaw mare ta thewa chumala mare sana ko thi karo ilchi chandu was misate.
So like if you are looking at the hero's path and say okay this is to be turned away, it's not to be engaged in, it's to be turned away. So the path itself is a subject, right? And so then here is observing, observing or focusing on a subject.
제가 안에 가다 라차 때문에 야한테 야 가지 랍다 제 가다 라차 때문에 제데 잡아 가다 라차 때문에 제데 잡아데 제치 대즈면 점발아 젠드치 대즈면 점바테 데마 잡아 젠드라 그랬어 대전한 시바 차송아 가다 라차 때문에 제데 잡아데 제 잡아치 제치 다 대즈면 점발아 젠드치 다 대즈면 점바 대 데마 잡아 젠드치 시작했어 대는 시바 차는거도 왔어.
So it says, the existing self-sufficient and substantially, is the let's say it's the substantial existence. Existing, grasping as something as existing, self-sufficient and substantially, is substantial existence. And so grasping at that, is grasping at the substantial existence. And the grasping to that itself, becomes grasping at true existence.
When then Chihuahua,
So, for example, like this is a mala, right? So, the conception grasping at this mala is called conception grasping of the mala. Apprehender of mala. So there can be another conception grasping at the conception that is the apprehender of a mala. So like that. So to the apprehender of the substantial existence, there can be like that. So there is a apprehender of an apprehender of substantial existence. So apprehender of an apprehender. So then that apprehender is apprehending the apprehender, which is a conception.
Okay.
So yeah, that's a little bit confusing, right?
Okay. Yes, Margaret.
And Damcho, I just want to clarify. I thought I heard you say when you talk about the last 2 9 conceptions, the apprehender of substantial existence versus the imputed. Is it correct to say you're saying the substantial existence is like the qualities of of that performing the function, versus the imputed is the perception of an aggregate that's performing the function? Is that what you're saying?
Ah.
제진 도바스 누구네 때 미기 되게 뒤 천이지. 아니야 다 강사 다 진작에 다 강사 증거라 강사 continuum 바 진바디 제전체 아니 강사기 풍부 진바디 다전체
다운드지야.
그래왜
야.
다가라다 the 전혀 전자라고 싫어 설마
이게 소연순이라고 그러와.
yeah, it's like the character, character or the definition, of that object, and the aspect of the object.
나의 취성하든 내 취성하든 ten이든 태작은 아니 ten이죠.
더 강사기 풍부를 하다. 더 강사기 풍부서는 강사기 풍부도 가래. 거의 강사기 가르쳐다. 내 교주가 말아. 계시대 교주.
제주도 개말다. 강사가 폼보세대.
뭐사 말해.
강사가 폼보세대 가로다. 다 제주로로.
계시다.
제주 아다 제주로서라.
So it's like so when we're talking about the person being able to perform the function, is the quality of the person, right? And when you talk about the aggregate, of the person, it's like the basis, of that designation. So that's the basis of the person on which then you can define as being able to perform a function or being a prominent, and so forth like that. So it's like the quality and the basis of the quality. So when you talk about when you are grasping at the quality, and then that it becomes the substantial existent, and when you grasp at the basis of the quality, then it becomes the imputed existence.
And are both independent?
Tadi nije tipang gorveso. Tadi de kudu dinjindera.
내 봐야돼. 담아도 된다. 그런 파고 계시 말다.
Yeah, so that itself doesn't have to be abandoned. So what you have to abandon, is seeing that as existing truly is to be abandoned.
그냥 강도 뺀데 빠져 말어. 얘는 뺀 담아도 된다 파고 그러었어. 못 담주이 못.
So no, I had to tell my son to be quiet.
You have to rapo mantra.
So like for example, like the mala or the pen, the pen is not to be abandoned. What is to be abandoned is grasping at the pen existing and as truly is to be abandoned. The grasping at the pen, to exist truly is to be abandoned.
Okay. Jennifer, you have something easy to say?
I wanted to know how these correlate to the 8 forbearances and the 8 knowledges. Are those contained? Are the 112 afflictive obscurations and the obscurations to omniscience? How do they relate to the 8 forbearances and the 8 knowledges? That.
그래서
Tinjimdo kandes deoyor standa de ngazo tanda de nyondib jatan chuni ta shirib jatan gejora. Deso tena de da shabaga nyum kandes deoyor.
zobaje shibaje sayade ani panja chijawato zogo zobaje sayade thangile ani 담보변나 동아 통보 제대 봐. 전에 ani zuji 쓰지 제대 봐. ani zu메스 제대 봐. 바로 제 봐 그래서. panja chijawaina zobaje shibaje 제다 치르지 안 그래서. zobaje shibaje sayade 간제 넘버라도 받지만 안 하기로 했어. 이제.
그래, 안에 가라디.
제가 panja rinje바다 panja chija와 가요 그래서. panja rimje와이나 rimje 전에 담보 ani 데베트지 아니 통보 시도 도바도 그대 봐. 아니 대내 아니 주부 아니 가르고 담보 데베트지 아니 데베트지 아니 동안 통보 주바도 거 대내 주지 쓰대지 주바도 거 대내 아니 주메스지 주바도 거 파테 거 파서도 아니 대지라 아니 빠져 림지와 있나다 가지 아니 주지 쓰대 아니 주도 도바 거 아니 주메스지 주도 도바 거 둘이 바로 잡방 그래서 다 안에 빠져 지셔봐야나 주디 쓰제다 주메스지 아니 파난 주바도 거대 테마치라 거니 좁제 거섬 가로 섬지 소리로 와 빠트치라 섬지 소리 대대치라 빠로 간다
그러다 대단 건데 방적의 시가가 다디간데 건데 서버가던데 셔버게디 가라 다나간데 발제면데 남도만 시거라
야 시발나 빠체만으로 저발나 남도라로 와
So yeah,
Okay,
so
you
this
get-
is abandon. Is talking about the abandonment, right? So when you abandon, you either abandon them gradually, one after another, or abandon all at once. And so if you abandon all at once, then you abandon, you like abandon on all these delusions, like we're talking about it here. We're talking about if you talk about the 108 obstruction to omniscience. So there are these the apprehended, to be turned away, apprehended to be engaged, so these are all, and then there's 9 of them, right? So it's 36, and so there's 36 in desire realm, 36 in form realm, 36 in formless realm. So when you abandon all at once, then they abandon everything at one time. And then when you abandon gradually, then so first you abandon those related, with the desire realm, and then after that you abandon those related with the form realm, and then the formless realm gradually, one after another, like that. So anyway, so when you abandon, and all at once, then you achieve, you achieve in the same time, like the uninterrupted path and the path of liberation, the path of release. The path of release. So they're both. So here, when you're talking about the 8 forbearances and then the 8 knowledges, this is talking about the uninterrupted path and then the path of release.
But there
Okay, now
Yeah.
this is a more complicated. You guys also do study more. I have to go another pray. Also, yeah, if you go to more details, also make more confused.
Jennifer,
What's Jennifer?
you were saying something, Jennifer?
No, I'll ask next time.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see like that. Just right now how to count, how to divide, like that. But okay. Okay. See you next.
Okay.
See you.